I'd like to call the August 7th, 2025 Wall City Council meeting to order. Carolyn, would you please read the roll?
Morgan. Stan Anderson. Husted.
Here.
William.
Here.
Hawk.
Here.
Mike Anderson.
Here.
Hoffman.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you. Let us stand and say the pledge of allegiance. And Deputy Austin was to lead us in that season.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any order of business for emergencies?
We do not.
And do we have attendance on Zoom?
Not at this time. Councilman Morgan has a link sent. I'm just not sure if he's not able to have reception enough to zoom in or not. So he may join.
Okay, that'd be good. All right, this evening, we have the great pleasure to have with us for our Pennington County Deputy Report, Lieutenant Kendrick, as well as the sergeant, as well as the deputies. So we are well represented in Wall this evening.
Guys, well, Kyle, they're gonna stick me up there, so I'll go over some numbers. I'm gonna go over some numbers real quick for the mayor and the council. I appreciate you guys having me. And then I'm gonna go over just some staffing stuff we're working on as far as the contract sheriff's office. So for the month of July, and I think Mary, you have the date, copy that might be mismarked as June, but it's actually July.
Okay,
So we had a total of 435 hours of deputies on duty in Wall through the month of July, and then included in that contract is also the sick time and the vacation. So what that also works out to is about 153 hours a week. The current contract's 123 hours a week, so I think we're doing pretty good as far as having folks around on duty. The big addition is last year we went from our contract sergeant, which supervised Hill City and Keystone and Wall and New Underwood. So that's a lot of miles for one supervisor to cover. So we split that up. And I know we've had some transition there with Sergeant Swanson and then Sergeant Larson retired. Now Sergeant Jason Hara is here, hopefully for a little bit longer term. He's got a few years before he can retire. So we're gonna keep him around for a little while. So what we felt like that does is that it gives a better representation of the office here. If there's a problem, one of you guys can get a hold of somebody that's a supervisor. So we found that's a positive impact on the contract. And also, he's gonna just be out here more. He's gonna be bouncing back and forth between New Underwood and Wall. And obviously with the population and the deputies assigned, he's gonna spend some more significant time with Wall. So we're working on that. We'll go through some of the numbers that kind of stick out to me, which I think will be important to you guys. Two of the biggest numbers that pop out are the community activity and extra patrols through the month. I think that's where probably you guys want to see the deputies involved with the community, patrolling some of these things after hours, the businesses after hours, making sure that we're not having anything pop up that we won't find out about until morning. So that's hopefully the goal that we got here. We've got a lot of obviously traffic stuff we're dealing with. We've had 20 motorist assist, basically probably likely those are more on the interstate, just in the area of the Wall that they've responded to this last month. So those are kind of some of the numbers that pop out. We had about 5 arrests, 4 were for calls and not necessarily warrants. There was 1 arrest for somebody that had a warrant. So I'll stand for any questions on these numbers and then I'll probably go into that. Anybody have any questions about those? Anything I can explain anything further?
With this week, there was an accident up by the gas stations, correct? What, do you know what happened there?
There's been so many wrecks.
For sure.
I don't know for sure on that specific one.
Okay.
I know they just had a serious crash a little farther east on the interstate. It seems I've spent the majority of my time this week up in Hill City and Keystone. There's just so much traffic up there. But listening on the radio, it sounds like there's a ton of wrecks. Wall and east to basically the county line. I think people just get so used to driving straight and probably on cruise control and they hit wall and it's curvy and I think they have to start paying attention. So I think that's gathering up some wrecks and I don't see that going down through maybe. So just kind of one of the things that comes along with this and traffic. So that's what we're seeing. We're seeing it kind of, and then obviously you get to the, the gas pumps or the intersections and people are used to doing 80 miles an hour. They come into town, they go too fast, make a turn. They don't know where they're at, trying to figure out where to turn and what business and they dump the bike and we see a lot of that. So I apologize. I can't.
No, you're good.
I'll kind of move to what's been going on for the staffing in Wall. I've been with the sheriff's office for 20 years. And contract for getting a deputy to Wisdom Wall has always been a challenge. We thought we had it licked. We had Deputy Christopherson, and then we had a couple deputies we hired. They have to go to the academy, they have a pre-service, and then we put them to what's called a field training program. It's a pretty intensive 14-week program that we require of all of our deputies, whether they're coming out here, they're staying in the Rapid City area, doesn't matter. Those two deputies are gonna come and be resident deputies will fail out of that program. I know it sounds bad on the surface, but it's good. We're not gonna send anybody out here that we don't believe is able to represent the office and be an addition to the community. So it was good we found it out then and not when they were out here. We do have another deputy, Chance Kerner, who's been at the academy. He's halfway through his field training program, no problems. And he's gonna be moving out here once he completes the field training programs towards the end of September. So we'll have two deputies that actually go out here. So I know that Christopherson probably sick of calls in the middle of the night, so now we can kind of split it up with someone else. So that's kind of the plan. That's kind of where we've been. I know it's frustrating sometimes. We don't have a lot of deputies living out here, but we're trying the best we can. That's always the goal. So that's kind of where we're going with that. But I just want to make sure you guys are aware of kind of what's going on and our priority of getting people hired and moving out here. So it's kind of where we're at. If you guys have any questions about any of that stuff, I'll answer whatever you got.
Has Chance found a place to live yet?
No.
Well, let us help with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Please.
Yes. Yes, man. He's a big guy. He's like 6'4", he's a big fellow. So he's gonna need a big house. He's a big guy.
A tiny home for
Yeah,
it.
for that guy, his feet will be out the window. But anything else? I mean, I know that, I know there's been some crazy calls. If anybody's got any questions about any of those things going on in the city, I'll answer whatever I can. But I just appreciate your time and, obviously Mary and I talk and Mary talks to Sergeant Harrell a lot. So make sure if there's anything going on, we want to try to fix it. We don't want to have any rumors or frustration. We gotta just know about it and fix it. So either go to Mary or Sergeant Hara and we'll try to get whatever problem we got going on solved. So that's what we want to do, problem solve. So I appreciate your time. If you don't have anything else, I'll step away.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Your attendance is very much appreciated, for sure. Okay, with that, moving to item number 7, do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So move second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Do we have any one that needs to declare a conflict of interest on the agenda, with the agenda this evening? Okay, hearing none. The minutes of the July 17th meeting was in the packet. Do we have any additions, corrections, or do I have a motion to approve the minutes for July 17th?
Move to approve. Second.
Rick has moved, Stan seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next is the City of Wall Fire Department library and cemetery claims that are in your packet. I would like to point out on the city bills, the $8,000 payment to the Wall School for the Powerhouse budget is included in this month's billings. And that is what we provide the school to help maintain the powerhouse. We've done that for years. The total amount of the city bills this meeting is $68,138.82. Also is listed the fire department bills. They total $7,837.32. The library bills are included. That total is $856.01. And the cemetery bills, $36.56. Are there any questions about any of the bills that have been provided for us on our agenda today? If not, do I have a motion to approve the claims for wall, fire department, library, and cemetery?
So. Second, Stan beating.
Okay, so was it Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, Mike moved and Stan seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, for your review this evening is the on-call schedule, which includes the employee overtime, sick and vacation pay, and the overtime is delineated. Also is included is the water usage report. The sales tax is included, as well as the BBB tax. The golf course financials have been submitted and are in your packet for your review. The expense budget report as well as the revenue budget report are included in this month's packet. That's both are year to date. And also approved has been Dean Hinsman's moving in shed at 407 Lariat Drive. And Garrett has approved that location and how it sets on that lot. Are there any questions on any of those items? If not, I will move on to public comments. This public comments is a time for the public to discuss or express concerns to the council with any issue on or not on the agenda. Action will not be taken on the issue until it can be added to the next agenda. And each person will have 3 minutes to address the council. And I do see that we have Dan Kurt here. And Dan, would you like to make some comments tonight?
Yeah, I just wanted to stop and give a little report on our pro rodeo. It was a great rodeo. Our ticket sales were all up. We have online sales. They were up over 100 this year. Saturday night, we probably had the biggest crowd we've ever had there. Friday night hurt us a little bit, the weather, but we still had a decent crowd. And Wall's hometown boy, Cash Wilson, was up Friday night, and he ended up winning the bronc riding. So that was a big plus to have him there. So just want to let you know the Wall Rodeo Booster Club appreciates your support and hope you continue to support us in the future. And the pro rodeo is a growing thing here. Our contestant numbers were down a little bit, but there was a lot of rodeos going on that week. Between Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota, and Wyoming. Just want to stop in and thank everybody, and Danny always comes out and helps us. That's always great, so.
No, and
You got any questions?
thank you guys for putting on a great show too. A great performance, so.
Yeah, we had Thursday night, we had that, we did it last year, this year we did it again, we had that ranch bronc ride, we call it Bronx Burgers and Beer, and, that got pretty wild. Kind of fun to watch.
Yeah,
I mean, you're getting on 4-year-olds that never been in the pen before, and things get a little hairy, but it was fun, it was a great deal. All right, well, thank you very much.
And Dan, you might mention there's something going on out there tonight and.
Oh, yeah, tonight is right after the pro rodeo, the next week, our play days start, and they're 4 weeks. Once a week for all the kids in the area to come, rope, run barrels, poles, whatever. And, tonight is their awards night, and they have, at 5 o'clock, they have their supper out there, and they have their play day, and then they have their awards. So, and they have a great turnout for that,
I think they've got like 70 families coming in
yeah.
for that. And they're coming from, as far away, as Kadoka and, Rapid City, so.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I was late for the meeting.
Did you want to supper?
No, I didn't go to supper, I just went to watch for a while. Lost track of time.
You gotta hustle, because it could still be going if we just.
Alrighty,
Thank you, Dan.
thank you guys,
Thanks, Dan.
appreciate it,
See you, Dan.
See ya.
take care.
Okay, so that brings us to item number 13, which would be, bids on the industrial park. Those were advertised, or the 2 bidders that had bid the first time were contacted and they were allowed to submit a bid. Did we get any bids in, Carolyn?
We did. We got one from each of the previous bidders. The first one's from Tracy Trask. His bid for a second cutting on the alfalfa at the industrial park is $6,154. And the next one is from Amanda Frink, who bid the first cutting, and her bid for this one is $6,825. She will receive the second cutting.
What was the amount?
Trade $6,825 from Amanda. $6,154 from Tracy.
And Stan, you had gone out and looked at that, hay.
Yep.
I should have had you mentioned that before, but you felt like,
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty almost everything.
this way we'll be able to stay ahead of any weeds too.
Correct.
So, okay, so you will be contacting Amanda then?
Yes, but I need a motion to approve that.
So
What
moved.
was her bid again? 6,000.
825. Second.
Okay, it's back moved and Dan seconded to approve, the bid, the hay, second cutting, hay bid $6,825 going to Amanda Frank. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. And then also in our packet, this has been something that's, we've talked about but never addressed, but Carolyn has put some numbers together, for us, and so Carolyn, explain why you think this is important.
Well, as I had mentioned at the last meeting, to see if you guys were interested in continuing to give small increases to the utility rates so we don't get behind again. And I was informed to move ahead, so I gave you 2 different scenarios. Like a 50-cent increase on and this is just on the base. I can add something to the additional usage over the 2,000 if you feel that you need that. But right now I just went with, increase of 50 cents on the base for residential and commercial. But on the garbage for the residential, I did go with, I don't have that paperwork in front of me, because we were low at when we approved the bid from Sanders.
$2.50.
Yeah,
increase.
and so that will put us up to $27.50, because in the contract that we had with them, they can increase this year's by 3.5%. So if you increase the $26.50 that they are charging us, even though we're charging the residents $25, that will cover that increase. So that's why I moved that up like I did. I think we need to start collecting what we're actually having to pay out, so.
Because we're going behind right now.
Yeah, and we did that due to the transfer station lease, which was increased, but now we've backed away from that.
Sure.
Agreed to back away, so now we need to start collecting it from the residents. So I don't know when you want to implement this rate increase. That's why I have a question mark on the date. If you want me to put the resolution together for the next meeting, if you want to start this increase, approve a resolution like at the end of the year so that it begins January of 26.
What's the percent increase, Carol?
No percent. Well, they can increase the rate they're charging us by 3.5% each year. That's in the contract. And so by including that on top of the $26.50 that they're already charging us now for this year, that would be that $27.50. It comes to 93 cents, so I rounded it to $1.
That's not bad.
Which
And
is a $2.50 increase from what the customer is paying now, but
in the past, like when residents were paying this, they got a free dump once a month too at the transfer station, didn't they?
yes.
Is there any thoughts on trying to bring something back to the transit station so we could bring that back for our residents too? And then like how we used to do it with Kiefer and like charge commercial businesses fee for it to like try and pay for it.
I think they agreed on city cleanup day and they weren't opposed to doing another collection day where they would do something. I believe the conversation was, so I think it might just be setting that with them whenever we think would be, you know, whether that be spring, fall.
But like they, like in the past, like they could go down to the transfer station like once a week and dump if they needed to, once a month. Well,
I mean,
yeah, but it was open
weekly,
once a week
yeah.
is what I meant, yeah.
Sorry.
Is there any way we could do something as a city to get one of those dump trailers and haul it to Rapid ourselves or do something?
Well, I think we kind of talked about that when we met with Kiefer and I guess Garrett's not here to speak to it. He would mind going to do that, and I guess the rest of them, we thought, well, we didn't too.
Yeah, I don't know what the cost would be for us to purchase one of those roll-offs, but if we were to rent it from them, they're gonna charge us monthly, whether it's used.
Oh, even if it's four, not, it was $700 a month, huh?
Just to be sitting there, it's a monthly charge,
Yeah,
whether it needs to get hauled off that week, that month,
yeah.
so.
Cause even like, if we could get a trailer and a semi even contracted on like to Todd or something to have them haul it once a month to Rapid or something, or. Cause it'd take a half a day to haul that trailer up to Rapid and dump it. And I think that was just a pretty big benefit that the city had for the residents too, is to do that dump once a month. To get all the odds and ends out.
Garrett had mentioned perhaps, putting like the roll off in the transfer station. And then they would have to contact Public Works to go down and dump. That way we would have control over what was put in it instead of like it was before.
Yeah, well, and.
But then the city would still be responsible for, unless we charged people to throw stuff in it.
And like if we ran it kind of like how it was last time, just dedicate one day a week and one worker be down there to check stuff, you know? And take them away for 3/4 of the day, but just have them open from like noon to whatever, you know, 3 or whatever it used to be.
So would this be different stuff than what, if you just call in and make Keepers aware that you?
Yeah, because they're getting charged for them to have to call in and then they have an extra dump or whatever, so they're getting charged per time they have to have extra, but if they were able to do one free dump, pickup load or whatever have you. And that, I think it just help out on our residents. declutter.
I think Garrett said it has been running pretty smooth now that we don't have to deal with the transfer station and Kiefer will also come and pick up your stuff at your house as well for a small charge. I don't know if anybody's been doing that. Do we have any idea?
I don't know.
Like people call on it. I mean, residents calling to ask us what the process is and I haven't talked to anybody after it's been done, but it sounds like maybe people are.
So do I hear you, I don't wanna move ahead without Garrett, for sure, to have his input. Regarding maybe establishing the transfer station, so. Would we though be able to move ahead on this to,
Yeah, this has nothing.
Yeah,
to
this is
do
just a
with it.
side note of the transfer station.
So then this would take effect
That's up to you guys when you want it to take effect,
January.
or if you want me to, it has to have a resolution. Do it, or I would prefer rather than just a motion in the minutes, but, and then as to which scenario, 50 cent or $1 increase, however you guys feel.
so you would write a resolution and you need to know then when we want to start and which of these options that that we're gonna recommend.
Correct.
So what are your thoughts? Those are the two questions. Do we ready to go, shall we call it the 50 cent increase or the $1 increase? Is that a good way to distinguish those?
Yeah, just give me guidance on how you want.
Carolyn, did you say the 93 cent increase, which would end up being the $1 increase, is close to the 3.5%, they can increase the rate?
Yes. So
I think-
because their rate is 26.50, and if you increase it by 3.5.
I
it's
think you
93
should do
cents.
that, because if they can do it, why wouldn't they? So,
So it's a $2.50 increase to our customers to be able to do that, but I just feel like we need to be where we're at, where we're being charged for.
When's the soonest they can do that? January?
No, they could probably do it this anytime now because it said annually and we started the contract. This contract was started back last July, so even though it was with Sanders, it transferred to Keeper and,
So it's been in effect a year already.
right. Nothing's been said to me about it, but, I just
But.
wanted to be prepared.
Mike is correct, that was brought up, so.
I mean, unfortunately, if they can do that at any time, it's almost probably a better idea just to do the increase to prepare.
I think so.
So do we need to vote on that or just have a consensus so you can write the resolution?
Consensus, so I can. write it.
So how many of you, would agree that doing the $1 increase is the correct move at this point? Rick,
yes.
Consider that.
Stan, Dan, Mike, okay, so we have $1. Okay, and then when is best time to start, do you think? We're already going behind, we know that.
What's the cleanest, Carolyn, like next month? Do you need to send anything out? Are you doing like a code red to let residents know about the
I can.
increase or?
We've
And
not
add in
done
the
that in
paper.
the past. We've just always done it by resolution. It gets talked about at a meeting and then
We'll say.
implement it by a resolution and it would be. So I guess I would say, because we're always reading our meters a month behind and we'll probably read like on the 28th, 27th this month, maybe. So I would say to be effective, not for the July usage, but for the August usage, so that would be September. Right, yeah,
So you could bring the resolution back to us on August 21st. We could approve it there.
be effective September 1st. That it would be for the August usage.
Okay, so do I have a consensus then for that second part then to do the resolution August 21st and make it effective September 1? You okay with that, Stan? That's a yes? Rick's a yes? Okay, 3 yeses down here, okay. So that would be the consensus for that. Particular item. Any other questions or concerns about utility rate increase then? And then, Zach, we could address yours, but wait until Garrett.
Yep.
Opportunity to be involved with that.
No, definitely. It's been brought up to me by quite a few people about not getting a free dump anymore when
Okay,
residents really utilized it, so.
okay. Right. Okay, that moves us then to, item 15. This is a liquor transfer application moving, from One Shot LLC to Hanson Inn LLC, HI LLC.
Yeah, so they currently held a license. It was just under One Shot and now they want to change the name. Last month, I think you guys, or last meeting, you guys approved, Jackalopes Corner. They changed their name to Honey Bunnies, so.
Okay,
So move.
Zach moved. And Dan seconded. Any other questions or thoughts about that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. The, item 16, at the last meeting, there was a, conversation about the sidewalk, ordinance that is in place. And we had conversation at that last meeting. One of the things we indicated that we would wait until after Labor Day, but before the 15th to set up a meeting of the Main Street businesses that are involved. And, also I invited to have a chamber rep there. So that meeting has been scheduled for September 10th at 9 AM. So letters of, notice will be, again, given to those particular, businesses. Yours might be emailed, but, everyone else will, receive it in by letter, okay? So that, brings us to the open meeting law review, item 17. Carolyn, why is that on our agenda again?
So we had put it in place to review annual things at our May meeting. That's when all of the current being our official publication place, our banks and all that. But this open meeting law renewal or change did not go into effect till July 1st. So recommendation from the Attorney General's office or whoever implements this recommends that it gets done after the July 15th and before the end of the year so that it is actually effective for 2025 with the new updated version. I'm not sure what the change was with any of them. I didn't get a chance to do a comparison. And then next year I'll put it on the schedule of the May meeting so that it's consistent for an annual review. But the one we did in May is not really effective for 2020.
Because it has to be reflected in our minutes that it has been reviewed.
Yes.
And what you're recommending is, even though we did it in May, we
was
need to
the
do
old-
it again, to get ahead of the end of the year. And the thing that affects the brochure, which I did print out, it was the fact that, in 2025, Senate Bill 74 said that every open meeting law had to be reviewed at a meeting. We did that. And then House Bill 1059 changed the definitions of an official meeting to make clear the electronic communications between a forum of a public body and constitutes a official meeting. So when I printed that out, the part that they made a difference in was to clarify that teleconferences are considered to be public meetings. That was the question in that message, and answer is defined. So at this point, in order to put it in our minutes, I need a motion that would indicate that the, open meeting law, as revised in 2025 has been reviewed. Would I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Rick has moved
Second.
and Stan seconded. Any other questions or concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Item 18, Senior Finance Officer Report.
So next week, there are 4 committees of the policy committees in the municipal league. I'm not gonna be able to rattle them all off. I sit on the tax and revenue committee, and there's general government, public safety, and can't remember the 4th one. But in August, they always have these committee meetings, and the people who sit on these committees bring forward any changes they feel needs to happen. And this kind of sets a guideline for the league to know what bills they should try to really bring forward or really be active on during the legislation. And so those meetings are set up for next week. They usually have them in Pierre and you go there, and this year they're trying to just set up Zoom meetings with them. And so I'm going to be involved in all 4 of them as being the president of the municipal league this year, so that I know. And then they will all be brought to the conference that we have in October. So I just wanted to mention that I will be, I don't know how long those meetings will last, just depends on how long the discussion happens and stuff. So I'll be involved with that next week. And then we have sent off our policy handbook to be reviewed by a HR person that came and gave what do you call it, LaShawn? Where are you at?
One of our coffee connects.
Yeah, during one of the Coffee Connects. She's giving an hour free on that, and then be charged hourly depending afterwards. And I have sent her a couple of ideas of things that I really want her to look at in the policy that maybe need some clarification on it and stuff. So she will be doing that. I'm not sure when that'll be coming back to us. And then just wanted to say that Katie and I are still continuing to train on our website and making some changes to that and stuff. So that's what's happening and what I've kind of been doing. So besides other things.
Okay. All right, Katie, please.
So I was asked to give a training progress report, so I've sat down and made a list of some of the things that I've been learning, and it's not really a complete list because there's a lot of just random things that just pop up in the office, and it's a lot of random things. So I just tried to go over some of the more common things I've been learning. So the biggest thing that I've been getting trained on is the utility software. And so I can set up the new resident accounts and enter service orders with the move-ins and move-outs, and enter the credit card, check and cash payments, run the batch updates, get deposits ready for the bank, and get the ACH file ready to be processed. And I've been also going through the training videos that the G-Works, the software company, has for the utility billing processes. So those are really helpful. And we've been also kind of looking at some of the things to see if we can kind of change some of the processes that we're doing to make it quicker, easier, things like that. So they're still in the process of getting us switched over from the software to the cloud. So there's kind of some things where it's questionable on what's the easiest thing. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Another thing that we've been working on is website, like Carolyn said, been updated, and they're actually doing another update here soon. But I went through getting all the information kind of current and some of the forms current, and our website company also found an easier way for us to update our online cemetery directory. So that's kind of neat. And Carolyn's been showing me things with the cemetery and And that's kind of a whole process in itself, so that's been neat to learn. And so, I've also learned how to take care of the new hire paperwork and quarterly wage reports, certificates of occupancy, animal licenses, permits, all the splits on our utility bills, which sounds super easy, but it's actually a huge process too. So, doesn't seem like there's really just an easy thing on anything in this office, so that's interesting. The OT, overtime, vacation calculations for payroll, planning and zoning processes, and then just in my spare time, been reading up on our ordinances, so a little light reading. And so then the only other thing that I had is, I think I might have mentioned this at our last meeting, but just as a reminder, the last day for the pool for the season is August 13th, so I think that's all I got.
And everything at the pool has gone well
It's
this year.
been great this year, as far as I know. I mean, I haven't heard otherwise, so it's been great. Yeah, had a great bunch of lifeguards and really good bunch of kids, and Ava. I was worried that when she left, to go back to school early, that everything was gonna fall apart, and they've just really stuck together and been great, so. Yeah, it's been a good year.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. Garrett, as we know, had real family tragedy this week, and we're wishing him well. He's still in Minneapolis, and that appears that it's gonna be a lengthy process, so please keep his family in your prayers. Okay, so moving on to the mayor's report. I did have a picture sent out in your packet, and that reflects the rain event we had on June 25th. And that has brought some concerns to our attention. And so what I would like to do is ask the street committee, which is Rick and Stan, to get together with Public Works, so that would be when Garrett gets back here, and our city engineer, and maybe bring us recommendations of things that we might need to look at, like now, and some things long term or whatever, but definitely, as you can see in those pictures, we had water in.
Well,
lots of places.
And that isn't the only area in town where
Oh,
we had
absolutely.
tremendous amount
Yes.
of water.
Yes, yeah, those pictures only reflect one part. Certainly the part, across the tracks here was,
Yeah.
was affected,
Yeah,
big time.
Dan, how was it by your house?
About 2 foot deep, in the corner of my yard.
2 feet high and rising.
Yeah, it was over, you've seen my garden bed, it's
Yeah.
over the top.
Garden bed got water well.
Yeah, it was over the top of it.
Wow.
And certainly affected, Color Mill and their, culverts. And
Street,
Oh.
that's the intersection.
Wow. Wow.
wow,
I don't see what restaurant on your side, so.
Thanks for the water.
so did you get water in your basement?
No,
Oh, wow, I don't know how that happened.
I think the good part, it disappeared pretty fast.
it did, in
So,
hour and a half of well,
and I did try to call Ted today because I think he has done this before over the years, so I think he's been pretty easily put together, and I think it'd be good for all of us to review it. Because there's a lot of obstacles if we decide we wanna do this or that, then we gotta do a big culvert. One place to another.
Yeah, gotta figure out what that is or that is, and detention ponds and water
So I assume that
back street, that doesn't usually happen, and
prosecute bugs from Ted, that, or do we have a budget or that kind of thing? I can't imagine. it'd be huge.
He's pretty familiar with the drainage issues and all. So,
I mean, we have engineering fees
Oh,
figured into the budget and
perfect.
awesome. Okay, so, again, as I said, we'll definitely need Garrett at the table, so Carolyn will let or Katie get that on her calendar, that when Garrett's back for more than just a day or two, that we could get these guys together, get us together as a street committee. Okay, so then, another thing, that I had noticed is, a concern about, the cigarette butts that were showing up on our street. And, I, requested and got approval to order smoke poles. And those came in on Monday. And, I want to thank Katie because she noticed how bad our main street looked on this side on Monday, and she actually swept it. And then the poles arrived, and so the guys, put, poles in place on this, side of the street. I also want to appreciate the drugstore already have, I think, 5, or is it 6 in place?
Got 6 new poles, I
Oh, you
mentioned,
got more? You just.
well, no, 6 total new ones, and
Okay.
ours were, you know, functional, but they didn't look good, and Sarah got really nice ones, that are aesthetically much better, looks a lot better, and of course, they have a big impact.
Yes, and one of those is down at the post office, and you're right, they are beautiful, if you can say that about smoke poles.
Well,
I
they
saw
beat
it.
they beat the black plastic ones.
Yes, totally. So I wanted to make sure that I thanked you for
Thank you.
having those in place. Salty Steer also have their own, and Badlands Hardly had their own. There was one at Badlands Grill, and there had been one out here. But with the addition of what we put on, I have walked the street now every day since Tuesday and noticed that they actually will use them. And it's that Disney effect, that if you give them an opportunity to throw their trash away someplace, people will do that.
Yeah.
So we hope that we can continue that, and as we place those, we also talk to those businesses to keep an eye on them and empty them when they do get full. So that has happened since our last meeting, and again, I just want to express appreciation to the businesses to help us make our main street look inviting to our visitors, whether they're bikers or tourists or what. We want our streets to look nice. And I just also wanted to commend folks, and I know that when I say this, I'm gonna miss somebody, but if I miss somebody, let me know and I'll mention them next time. But we have had people who on their own have made improvements to their sidewalks or walkways. For instance, Casey McMillan over in his, at his residence, completely replaced his cement sidewalk because it had a crack in it and he was worried somebody would trip. Donna Bowen put in a red rock pathway, so there's a place to nicely walk without walking in the street there. The Catholic Church put in a complete cement sidewalk in front and along the side, because it too was sloping and not looking good, so they spent the dollars and replaced that. Doll Chain Arts, there was a place over there where people had to walk, they had their very nice walkway, and then they ran into these big rocks that somebody put, or big stones along the old motel, and they replaced that with redwood shavings now. And now, as I watch people walk there, especially mature visitors, they no longer are creeping along those old rocks or stepping into the street. They actually can walk safely on that redwood. Also, Welsh Motel, I see that you did build some cracks there on your sidewalk, and I appreciate that. And there's been several businesses all summer long that have been repaving or re-asphalting their parking lots. And again, just makes our whole city look way nicer when we do things like that. So I just want to commend those people, and they need recognition when they do good things. Okay, so at this point, that concludes my report for the evening. Are there any other items for discussion? that anyone has this evening? Seeing none, the next council meeting will be August 21st at 6:30. And,
I won't be able to make that one. I won't be able to make that one.
okay, do you leave tomorrow, by the way? Is that what I heard? Okay,
I get back the 21st, but I don't fly into Rapid until 8:30, so.
okay. All right. Well, safe travels to you too.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have a need for an executive session. So would I have a motion?
Carol, what's the parentheses on this executive session? One?
Good evening.
Yes.
Safe
Yeah.
travels back.
Good.
Thank you for being here,
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Okay. How can I guess?
We appreciate everything you say.
I make a
Thank
motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing legal personnel issues according to SDCL 1-25-2, parentheses 1.
Second.
Okay, so we'll be in executive session. If you folks would like to step out for a moment, if you would like to have a conversation with the council first.
Vote on that.
Oh, all the,
You're gonna say aye.
okay, I call us out of executive session. Is there a motion that needs to be made?
Yes, I make a motion that effective August 8th, 2025, community center duties will transfer to the Wall City Finance Office. Compensation for the extra duties will be an increase of $2 an hour for Carolyn and $3 an hour for Katie.
Is there a second? to that?
Second.
Okay, Mike seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The. Oh, motion carried. And meeting adjourned. Wow.